Semifinal weekend in the USL Championship playoffs kicks off tonight. The number 1 overall seed, San Antonio FC, takes the pitch for the first time in the postseason. Standing in their way, the upstarts from the Bay Area. It's San Antonio FC and Oakland Roots SC on a picture-perfect night from Toyota Field. And we say hello from the broadcast booth along with the former midfielder Hayden Partain. I'm Dan Weiss. It's great to have you with us. Hayden, San Antonio FC has had an unbelievable season. But in the words of their head coach, Alan Marcina, it would be a disappointment if it didn't culminate with a championship with all they've done to this point.
That's exactly right. They've executed all throughout the season to put themselves in this position, but now is when it matters most.
You take a look at the numbers. Most wins, most points, highest goal differential in club history, tied for the most clean sheets in USL Championship history. So all the accolades are there, but now, as you pointed out, time for execution when it comes to the postseason. And their first foe tonight is a club that is coming off an impressive upset, a 3-0 win over San Diego Loyal. Noah Delgado took over on August 18th for Oakland Roots. They had less than a 20% shot of making the playoffs. They won 5 out of their last 9 matches and advanced to the postseason on the final Saturday of the year.
Yeah, this is not a team to look past. You know, they've really got to focus here at SAFC and taking care of business tonight, especially with a team coming off a 3-goal game.
The two clubs played twice in the regular season. They had a 1-1 draw here in San Antonio. SAFC took a 2-0 win in Oakland. Focus tonight on the strikers, Hayden. You got 2 of the best. Sam Adeniran, what an impact he's made for the club since coming over on loan from Seattle. And Otter Magnus Carlson, who was 3rd in the Golden Boot race with 19 tallies on the season.
Right, and that's a great thing. You know, SAFC has a great defense, but they've got to be aware of him. He's a goal scorer. 19 goals in any career or any season is stellar.
It's nothing better than playoff soccer, especially on the final Friday in October. We got a good one tonight at Toyota Field. The fans are ready to go. Kickoff is next.
Not bad, Adam.
One of our cheesiest burritos is back at Taco Bell, the double steak grilled cheese burrito.
The 2023 Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
We have been helping thousands of small businesses, not only here in San Antonio, but across our footprint. Knowing that SWBC was our partner in our health benefits and all our employee benefits was a relief for me. I knew that we could continue to do our work, we could continue to do our mission, because SWBC had our back. I tell you, for a not-for-profit, we have an excellent benefit program.
There are flavors that transport us to Mexico, like tacos al pastor from traditional taquerias, tacos de pollo, or tacos de bistec, seasoned to perfection. The H-E-B Mi Tienda diced meats and fajitas are inspired by the flavors you love, perfectly seasoned with sabor and corazón, and ready to prepare at home. From our kitchen to yours, enjoy the authentic taste of our H-E-B Mi Tienda diced meats and fajitas. One more reason here, everything's better.
If you know, you know.
Crispy corners, sauce on top.
If you know, you know.
Detroit style is back at Pizza Hut, just $12.99. You are trouble. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
This is game 1 of a 4-game USL Championship semifinal weekend that begins tonight in South Texas Toyota Field here in San Antonio. The number 1 overall seed, San Antonio FC, taking on the number 7 seed in the Western Conference, Oakland Roots SC. A look at the starting 11s for both sides tonight. For the visitors from Oakland, we mentioned Otter Magnus Carlson to the top. But be on the lookout for number 18, Juan Azócar. 10 goals in the regular season, a career high, and 2 goals in his career against SAFC. On the other side for San Antonio FC, Sam Adeniran had all 3 goals in the regular season against Oakland. This team, though, has gone as far, by no pun intended, by their goalkeeper, Jordan Farr, who is 21-5-5 in the regular season. And, of course, the other veteran stalwarts, Mitchell Tainer, Connor Maloney, and PC, who brings so much to the table for this San Antonio FC squad. Elvis Osmanovic is our center referee for tonight's match as we get set to go. Alan Marcina in his 3rd year. 48 wins, 16 defeats, 18 draws. As head coach of San Antonio FC, he has brought this club to the playoffs all 3 seasons. As we look at the tail of the tape between these two sides, the run of form at the end of the regular season, Hayden, was great for both clubs. Oakland, 51 goals, a club that can score. The question is, can they defend? As you see, they're 46 goals against. They've given up the most goals of all the playoff teams in the Western Conference in USL Championship, 12th in goals against average. We are set for soccer, as mentioned, on a beautiful night in San Antonio. 65 degrees at kickoff, winds out of the northeast at about 10 miles an hour, no humidity, and the playoffs have returned to Toyota Field. For the 4th time in club history, SAFC trying to capture their first championship in club history, as Oakland Roots trying to do the same as well. We are underway. Along with Hayden Partain and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us here tonight. San Antonio FC in their home black kits, trimmed in silver. Oakland Roots SC in their away green kits with yellow, trimmed in white. And for the 3rd time this year, these two clubs meet, and will be interesting to see how these two clubs approach tonight's match, Hayden.
Yeah, I'm expecting Oakland to try to find ways to get the ball in the back of the net like they did against San Diego, but you know how SAFC are going to be. They're going to come out gun blazing. They had a week off with that bye in the first round, and they're ready to get themselves, to that USL Championship.
Oakland Roots pulling the lone upset in the Western Conference quarterfinals last weekend, winning 3-0 on Sunday away at San Diego Loyal, getting goals in the process from Charlie Dennis, Lindo Mafeka, and Matias Fasore. San Antonio FC has been off since 2 Saturdays ago, where they concluded the regular season with a somewhat unsatisfying 2-2 draw against Orange County SC that prevented some possible USL League Championship records, including wins, points, and clean sheets. So a little bit of a sour taste in their mouths as they begin their first playoff match of the 2022 USL Championship playoffs, Hayden. Joseph Nane, who scored the opening goal in San Antonio back on the 18th of June when these two sides met in the 29th minute. That gave Oakland a 1-0 lead. And for an SAFC side squad that only trailed for 341 minutes all year. This ball into the box in search of PC. Lands at the feet of Patino. To the left foot of Sam Adeniran, and it's in! 2 minutes into the match, SAFC is on the board.
Wow. Wow, what a finish. Great touch to the side, turns around and just knows exactly where the goal is. But that all started from a great combination play with Connor Maloney. Just picks out that back post. Little scuffle there. Couldn't get the ball cleared, Oakland Roots. But that's where Adeniran's at his best, on that favorite left foot.
Sam Adeniran has all 4 goals for SAFC in their 3 matches now against Oakland. He scored 10 goals to lead the club in the regular season. He was tied for 24th in the championship, but only because he appeared in 20 matches. A strike rate of a goal every 157 minutes for the 24-year-old native of Houston, as he gets SAFC on the board first, and they did not lose a single match this season when scoring the opening goal. SAFC scored the first goal in 22 of 34 matches this year, and they were 21-0-1 in those 22 matches. set piece opportunity for Oakland Roots for the first time. Oakland showed you can score 51 goals in the regular season, which is tied for 10th in the championship, as the veteran Lindo Mafeka over the ball, the South African native, in his second season with Roots. Long-time USL Championship pedigree. Mafeka play it short. Chipped into the box, and it comes down to Magnus Carlson, but he's unable to get a boot on it as SAFC will make the clearance.
That was a fabulous block by Mitch Tainter there at the last minute.
And an injured SAFC player back in the box in front of Jordan Farr.
Looks like it's PC.
Might have been a collision there with Magnus Carlson going for that loose ball that had dropped in front.
It was really a similar situation for the way that SAFC just had scored. Wasn't a true good clearance. Ball had bobbled around and had landed.
Now what a start for SAFC here, as we'll see what happened to PC there. The collision with Emra Clementa, as that ball dropped right in front of Magnus Carlson there, just to the edge of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, and it looks if Imra goes for the ball in the air and PC's still on the ground. It's maybe contact from the knee to the torso area.
So the early fireworks at Toyota Field, which in these two matches that SAFC and Oakland played, this at least brings reminders to Oakland of what happened in the second match at Laney Stadium back on the 3rd of September, where Adeniran scored in the 5th minute in that match, and SAFC was up 1 early and was able to take control of the match completely. And in the two matches together, SAFC outshot Oakland 34-18. 16 of those 34 shots were on target to just 5 for Oakland. And San Antonio FC really was able to control the run of play, particularly in that second match on the 3rd of September at Laney College. It was much different than what the 1-1 match featured here, with Nane getting the opening goal and forcing Adeniran to get a goal just before halftime to equalize, and then the two sides played to a scoreless draw in the second half. Really the first time that a club had come to San Antonio and had given SAFC fits as they were really rounding into form in the middle of the season, Hayden.
Yeah, and when they score first, it's a totally different team ultimately. I mean, they can come back from behind, and they did against Oakland, but they really fuel off that first goal, especially if they score early.
And obviously now this not is a good sign for SAFC, as the stretch has been brought out for PC off that collision. And one more look on the collision between PC and Clementa here. Shannon Gomez was in the middle as well, and well, this would be less than ideal for SAFC with PC down early in the first 10 minutes of the match. The good news being that SAFC already on the board playing with a 1-goal lead. Hard to imagine that PC will continue going forward, and it looks like SAFC will be in the process of making a substitution, and it looks like it'll be Carter Manley who's going to come on, who at least in SAFC's case, they're putting in a player in Carter Manley who primarily had been a starter for most of the season. In his 23 appearances, Carter started 21 of them.
Right, and not having Abu and PC now in the middle of the park, you know, the guys that have really led charge in the center of the park all season, it's not ideal, but, you know, with Connor Maloney's versatility, they'll move him into the middle of the field, and Manley will just go back in just as if everything was normal for his situation. So changes are made. I don't think Allen expects anything different from the performance of the team, but yeah, you hate to see your captain hurt in the first 10 minutes of the match.
And you mentioned Mohamed Abu not available tonight for San Antonio FC, which is quite the loss. Abu, who led the club in chances with 53 of them, and is the primary service on set pieces, and ironically PC was the man to replace Abu when it comes to set pieces on deliveries. So now Alan Marcinez got to go a little bit further into his bag on who will take those set pieces. You would think it'll be Fabian Garcia from this point out.
Yeah, that's what I would expect. He can hit a delightful service in as well, so it's good that they have many options in that area.
Now San Antonio FC can rest on what they've done best all season, and that's keep the ball out of the back of the net. Fewest goals conceded in USL Championship, just 26, and as we showed you at the top, tied for first in not only the league this season, but tied for first in USL history with their 17 clean sheets. Jordan Farr tying a league record as well, 15 of them on his own. Jordy Dellum, who is starting in place tonight of the injured Mohamed Abu. So when you figured coming into the first postseason match, you again thought it would be PC and Abu driving things in the middle of the park. We go not even 10 minutes in, and you have neither of those players in the midfield for San Antonio. Whereas on the opposite side, you have two excellent midfielders for Oakland Roots in Jose Hernandez and Joseph Nye.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting in the build or the way that SAFC is going to attack now with two center mids that aren't the first go-tos, but they're both workhorses. Dellum and Maloney, you know, they're going to put in a shift for sure. Just on the ball, they're just a little different than PC and Abu.
Jordan Farr well off his line as he'll drive this one forward in the vicinity of Christian Pirano, and it's Nane will come away with the ball. Magnus Carlsen brought to ground. Fabian Garcia over the top was looking for Santi Patino, and instead it's Paul Blanchette, who went 7-6-5 in the regular season, dealt with early season injuries, still was able to come back and finish strong in 18 matches at a goals against average of 1.25. Sam Adeniran will track this one down by the near stick. The service by Adeniran is defended out. Back to Blanchette. He's never beaten San Antonio in his career, Hayden. 5 matches, 3 defeats, 2 draws, but he was outstanding in the match here on June 18th against SAFC.
Yeah, he's a keeper that can make some big-time saves.
Veteran keeper in his 7th season, 28 years of age, has conceded early. Pirano, Dellum and Manley playing in the midfield role. Back out wide is Pirano. Connor Maloney can't get the return ball to Christian. Magnus Carlsen will turn it out wide, and it's too far away from the race of Edgardo Rito on the right wing side. As you look at Noah Delgado, his first time ever being a head coach, Hayden. He's played a lot in USL, USL League A, Puerto Rican national team, 23 caps, named the interim head coach on August 18th, and not because of the job that the previous guy was doing, but in something that had almost been unprecedented in USL history. Juan Guerra, the head coach of Oakland Roots, who took over for Joey Farrell from a year ago, he left the club to replace Rick Shantz, who left Phoenix Rising in the middle of the season. Guerra, who'd been an assistant to Rick Shantz last season, returning to the club where he got his coaching start. Noah Delgado was kept on the staff, occupied by Colin Farrell a year ago when Juan Guerra took over. So he had familiarity with the club. They gave him the job on an interim basis, and he won 5 of the last 9 matches and got him to the postseason. We get a whistle here.
There's going to be a little ankle tweak here.
It's Nane who's down.
Yeah, and the tackle from Patino just either landed on it weird or didn't have a locked ankle going into the challenge. And when those happen, they sting. They sting. Your ligaments are burning. Yeah, just comes off the outside of the foot. Rolled it a bit. And it's not really what you want to see on either side of it.
2 pretty significant injuries here in the opening quarter hour of this match, as Nane will get to his feet. And will limp off to the sideline. PC already out of the match in the 8th minute after the collision with Emra Clementa. Meanwhile, Sam Adeniran scoring in the 2nd minute of the match to give SAFC the lead that they currently enjoy.
Yeah, just get a few ounces of that magic spray. I think it has lidocaine. It numbs the top surface, so you can't feel it much, and just kind of shake it off and move on.
To finish the thought on Noah Delgado, I talked to him yesterday, and I just asked him about how the team rallied around the departure of Juan Guerra as Manley puts it into space and it's headed away. SAFC continues on the attack. Manley trying to dribble through a crowd and concedes possession. Rito. Forward ahead. Charlie Dennis losing his footing there. The ball out of bounds belongs to Oakland Roots SC.
And that was well done by Oakland Roots to get that switch in. You can see, like I said, Connor Maloney is going to be a workhorse in there. There's not going to be a single ball not contested in the middle of the park tonight.
Tarek Morad will put it out wide. Danny Barber. And the turn on the wing by Azakar, and he's dangerous in space. Azakar, good recovery there from Carter Manley. Career high 10 goals this season for Juan Azakar, the Venezuelan. Hernandez. Charlie Dennis, who scored the opening goal at Toretto Stadium last Saturday night, and he's got it in a similar spot here. The drive going for goal is just over frame from the 27-year-old Charlie Dennis.
Yeah, and that all came off the foot of Magnus Carlson. A great layoff. And Kamiri just couldn't round that corner quick enough. It's a great shot at the end of the day. Just couldn't keep over the top of it.
Just a couple inches there underneath the ball for Charlie Dennis, getting that over the crossbar of one Jordan Farr. Conceded just 24 goals in his 31 appearances this year. I mentioned Noah Delgado to finish the thought from a moment ago about where Oakland Roots was on the 18th of August when Juan Guerra left. And he said, look, we just kind of came together as a club. We understood the situation, but I told my guys, look, we have a chance to do something special here. We're sitting below the playoff line right now. 6 out of our last 9 matches are on the road. But if we can go out and find a way to seize our opportunity as I am seizing my opportunity, then we have a chance to be brilliant here down the stretch, and that's exactly what they did as they win 3 of their final 6 road matches, and they make the playoffs on the final Saturday of the regular season, thanks in part to a loss by Las Vegas Lights on the final night to Galaxy 2.
Yeah, it's crazy. The interim head coach role is not an easy one, and we've seen 2 now. One with Orange County last season, step up to the plate and do well for the rest of the season that they're assigned the position.
Past the opening quarter hour. It's an opening quarter hour that SAFC continues to be outstanding, and they did not concede a goal in the opening 15 minutes all season, and now are +6 after the goal here tonight by Adeniran. And now it's Rito to work with Charlie Dennis. The service across the face, and Jordy Dellum able to play it upfield. The turn by Adeniran. Emra Clementa, veteran captain Tanani.
Yeah, you can just see Adeniran was trying to get that early service in behind the back line to a running Patino. The cross was just not executed.
Taylor came away with the ball, but conceded immediately. That's off of Jasser Kamiri. Lands at the feet of Jordy Dellum. Kamiri. The offside flag is up on SAFC and Santiago Patino. San Antonio FC on their run to the #1 seed in USL Championship finish in their 17 home matches with a record of 11 wins, just 1 defeat, 5 draws here at home. Oakland, 4 wins on the road against 5 defeats, 8 draws. Flag stays down here. Azakar unable to get a clean look.
It's a great run in behind. The timing was perfect. But in the end, Garcia was able to get back and have a really good block.
It's Hernandez on the delivery to Azakar. And as you pointed out, excellent recovery by SAFC's back line. And a giveaway, Pirano streaking for the ball, but it's Tarek Morad who will direct it out across the touchline first.
Early on, SAFC's really found success on that right wing area. Pirano and Maloney getting combinations that ultimately led to the first goal. And
getting word that PC right now is being taken from the stadium to local hospital here. So our thoughts with him after clearly was a very serious injury, in case you missed it in the opening minutes of this match. Maloney comes away with the ball. Charlie Dennis turning upfield, stays with possession. The slide tackle, and Kamiri will upend Dennis and will be shown yellow. 20 minutes in, Jasser Kamiri receives a yellow card, and it's one of those situations that I asked Alan Marcina about yesterday. One of your players gets a card, a yellow early. How do you treat that when it potentially comes to a substitution later in the match? Do you let a guy stay on a yellow, especially when he gets one so early in the first half?
yeah, I think it's a case-by-case situation. But Kamiri's, he's been in this position before. Honestly, you know, he's fortunate he had a defender recovering behind him, because he could have been the last man on that challenge. He was just a bit late. But now he's got to be smart about the types of challenges he makes, and the defenders next to him need to be aware that, you know, he's on a yellow. He can't maybe be overly aggressive like he likes to be.
10 cautions on the season for Kamiri, was third most on the team. Magnus Carlson. Hernandez into the box, and it's Fabian Garcia who rises to direct that one out. It'll be the first corner of the match. It belongs to Oakland Roots.
And it looks like Oakland has been spending time on the training ground with these intricate set pieces that are changing the angle of the service, but so far SAFC has answered and been on the end of it to get clearances.
Oakland able to generate 4 corners in each of the 2 matches against SAFC. Surprisingly, they did not have a corner all last Sunday against San Diego. Hernandez over the top. Mafeka, and again, Connor Maloney steps in front to direct that one out. It'll be a second corner back to Oakland. Connor Maloney, 68 career matches with San Antonio FC for the 27-year-old who played collegiately at Penn State. 68 appearances, the most of any active SAFC player after the retirement earlier this year of keeper Matt Cardoni. Dennis delivers one, and that should belong to Jordan Farr. No, they'll give it back to Oakland for a 3rd consecutive corner.
Yeah, it looked like the final touch came off of Denner, and he was touch tight with his man in the box there.
So Dennis again, the in-swinger. That's a good ball to the back post, but right to the welcoming mitts of Jordan Farr. And quickly upfield in search of Patino, but it's Rito instead do it first. And Edgardo Rito switched out to the left side here now. Away from his normal right side spot. Rito making the run here on Carter Manley. Rito putting it through the wickets of Manley, but SAFC prepared for that. Rito again. Service here inside the area. Jatainer able to direct that one out. Here's Nane. Hernandez. A turn to the opposite field for Dennis. Clementa and Oakland will play with some poise here with the ball. Tarek Morad back to his keeper.
And that's well defended by SAFC, forcing him basically from their own 18 all the way back to the goalkeeper.
Hernandez. It's Tainer able to direct that one away. And a whistle and a foul on Connor Maloney in his confrontation with Jose Hernandez. The diminutive Hernandez, who stands just 5'5" and weighs a $135 from Mexico City. 53 appearances with Oakland roots, and tonight 137 appearances in USL Championship for the product of the Real Salt Lake Academy.
You can see Maloney wasn't happy with the push after the play, but on the aerial challenge, he didn't jump straight up. It's a foul.
Clemenza flicks it on. The offside flag is up. Back to Jose Hernandez, one of 3 players for Oakland Roots who's appeared in 53 matches for the club over the last 2 seasons. Clemenza is their active leader in USL Championship. He's appeared in 54 matches. 31-year-old from Montenegro, who my partner had a chance to play with in Sacramento.
Yeah, Emre's a great defender, great guy, great leader, so it makes sense why he's continuing that role with a different club.
Hernandez heads that one forward. Kamiri off the back foot of Patino. Great ball, Pirano in stride, flicks it on just wide. A chance for SAFC, 25 minutes in to go up 2. Pirano just misses by inches.
You couldn't ask for a better passage of play. A little up back through. Connor Maloney slips Pirano through his first touch, kind of takes him away from his favorite left foot. He's just wide of the back post there. That's a chance that ultimately in the playoffs you've got to put away.
And so the lead remains 1 for SAFC. Remember that chance going forward in this match, which still has a healthy amount of time, not only in this first half, but clearly through the remainder of the full 90 minutes. But the numbers benefit SAFC here early on, including possession, which they're never ahead, and they don't want to be ahead. Only 39% of the possession so far here tonight. Switch the play in the direction of Adeniran. Clemenza volleys that over to Rito. Rito telegraphing that ball. Tainer over to Maloney. Back upfield, Pirano in a battle. And the ball won away cleanly by Azakar coming back. Osmanovic keeping the whistle in his pocket, the center referee.
This game is very end-to-end early on, in my opinion. But the tenacity, I mean, this is playoffs. You knew it was coming from the minute 1.
That shot by Pirano, just the second for SAFC. One obviously finding its way on target to the back of the net. Oakland 4 shots early on, but none on target. Whereas last week against San Diego, 6 of their 9 shots ended up on target. Shannon Gomez and Sam Adeniran not on the same page there.
Yeah, I think Shannon just held on to it a little too long, and Adeniran had to change his run up.
And in the absence of PC Hayden, as you talked about, the formation or the shape of the players, so to speak, has changed a little bit with Connor Maloney now playing in that role previously occupied by PC. That should be a foul by Azakar, and it will be whistled. Azakar with words for Osmanovic.
Yeah, looks like it goes to his legs, but just a nudge of the back, and I think Fabian Garcia was upset with the follow through of when he's on the ground. but it's a great recovery at the end of the day to get position on the ball.
Juan Azakar, 36 career goals in his 267 games as a professional. Hayden, he had one of the best goals I ever saw here at Toyota Field. Last season, the 29th of May, playing for RGV, a bicycle kick in the 89th minute, a spectacular finish to level that night at 1.
Yeah, that was it reminded me, not to saying that it's, in this big of a game, but Ronaldo's Champions League bicycle kick against Juventus, it was just fully extension, just picture perfect, and just purely in the back of the net, left the keeper no chance.
Azakar had a goal later that season for RGV, so an eye has to be kept on him. And an eye has to be kept on Oakland as this match progresses, Hayden, because they scored 18 times in the final quarter hour this season. They were able to salvage 16 points from a defeat in those last 15 minutes thanks to those 18 goals.
Yeah, and I think you've kind of alluded to it, how they, really gave themselves a chance to even be in the playoffs. Their backs against the wall, they never quit. They find a way to the end of the game, to the end of the season. Whatever it is, they're gonna fight, and if they can find a way to put the ball in the back of the net, they're gonna do that.
And it was odd. It was an odd year for Oakland. They had 12 draws through the first 25 matches of the season. The record for USL was 14 draws in a campaign. With 9 matches left, you just figured it was a record they were easily going to break. But almost, and I don't want to say coincidence, surprise, whatever you want to call it, just one draw since Noah Delgado took over in the final 9 matches. So there were decisions for Oakland, whether on the positive side and more on the positive side at the end that got them in the playoffs, but maybe a little bit more aggressive and perhaps settling for those single-point evenings. It's Rito. A beautiful ball. Charlie Dennis. A good recovery by Tainer. Dennis putting it off Tainer, off his head. And it'll belong back to Oakland.
And initially, it was a fabulous run on the back shoulder of Tainter, but ultimately, the defender found a way to get a great block in again.
That'll be a foul on Mitchell Tainer, much to the dismay of Alan Marcina on the SAFC bench. A half hour in, 1-0 San Antonio FC. In this newly formatted USL Championship playoffs, where the #1 seed in each conference is, SAFC in the West and Louisville City in the East both received first-round byes. As we take a look at the foul again on Tainer. So, 2 clubs that, by virtue of being the best in their respective conferences, got a week off to prepare. 2 weeks since playing their last match, and it doesn't look like it's certainly hurt SAFC here in these first 30 minutes tonight.
No, not at all. They look extremely hungry, fresh, and ready to play. I think you kind of touched upon it on the air early in the game. The sour taste in their mouth and other records that they could have maybe won. They're ready to play again.
Dennis to the back post. Oh, what a delivery! What a chance for Oakland! And they put a second opportunity wide of goal. My goodness, Oakland set it up beautifully and had a chance to be leveled here at 1 if Danny Barber could have found the back of the net.
Again with the cheeky set piece to drop the line. Great service on the back post, but just trying to head it back across and hits it wide of the frame.
So 2 chances missed by Oakland here early. The first one by Dennis, and that one by Barber on the back post, trying to go back across, and he misses entirely. So now 5 shots total for Oakland, none on target. Something to keep in mind here, the way this match develops for a club that was top 10 in USL in conversion at 17%. .50% shooting accuracy for Oakland, but tonight it's 0 for 5. SAFC 1 of 2. They're at their 50% mark, which they finished at for the season just a bit over 50.7% in shooting accuracy. Coutinho looking to make the run. Barber Heads it right to the feet of Christian Perano. And now it's Patino out wide. Service in is defended out by Tarek Morad. The turn by Patino. Adeniran brings it down but can't gain possession. And Rito will push it out wide to Charlie Dennis. Nane. Azakar. Mafeka making the run. Garcia steps in front of him. Mafeka able to win the ball. Magnus Carlsen. The return ball to Azakar. Loses his footing. Lands back to Magnus Carlsen. What a save! What a save from Jordan Farr! Denies the 19-goal scorer honor, Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah, from back to front from Oakland, that was great play. And Jordan Farr bails SAFC. SAFC defense really baiting and pushing hard on the backs of the strikers, and did a little too early to let that chance come about.
That ball balloons to the back post and headed towards the top of the box where Connor Maloney's on it and able to service it out wide. Running room here up the left side for Jordy Dellum. He was trying to find Sam Adeniran, but
yeah, he's got to do a little bit better with that pass. You can see Adeniran started from behind him, try to make a streaking run in behind, then to check to the ball. The least he could do is play it to his foot that's on the opposite side of the defender.
So Oakland finally gets their chance on target. With the ball at the feet of the man you want, Otter Magnus Carlsen, and Jordan Farr does him one better. Two of the best of their respective positions in USL this year.
Yeah, it was a powerful strike, but at the end of the day, it was down the middle of the pipes, and Jordan Farr was there to make the save.
Intended for Patino on that ball, and instead will belong back to Paul Blanchette.
Yeah, Perano's finding ways to get in that pocket there and be pretty dangerous, whether it's the service himself or setting up the pass for a service to be put in.
It was almost a year ago to the day, Hayden, that Jordan Farr came on loan from Indian 11. It was an emergency loan after the injury to Matt Cardone in the final match of the regular season against Colorado Springs. As SAFC will look to capitalize off the giveaway. Patino, and that ball's defended out. But Farr, who missed practically all the 2019 season recovering from injury and then playing in Indy 11 in 2020, he comes over to SAFC at the end of the year, knows nobody on the club, steps into the first playoff match against San Diego in the Western Conference quarterfinals, and all he does is produce a 1-0 clean sheet. Simply remarkable when you think about it.
Yeah, it is. He finds a way to get it done, and now that he's been with the club, for an entire season, there's familiarity in the back line in him, and they've done a really good job all season.
Dennis, hounded there by Jordy Dellum. It belongs to Oakland, but back to Farr, the Salem, Oregon native who went to Tiny Corbin University, NAIA school, and he was one of the best at the NAIA level. And now 36, 19, and 11 in his 66 lifetime USL Championship appearances. Certainly a front runner for goalkeeper of the year here in 2022. Dennis over the top looking for Rito, and it ends up going off the head of Rito and across touchline.
Yeah, you can see he's smiling, laughing about it, trying to make a streaking run in behind. Just unfortunate to come off the back of the head out for a throw.
Well, after conceding in the opening minutes, Hayden, you could argue that Oakland perhaps might be the better of the two clubs here, at least over the last 10 minutes. They've had more of the chances. They've been able, with some, to your point, crafty set-piece opportunities, able to catch SAFC's backline off guard a little bit, and that has opened things up where they're just finding a few cracks and have been able to some extent take advantage.
Yeah, I'd agree. But at the end of the day, you know, the longer that they go.
There's a giveaway. Pirano, he's got Patino to his left. Santiago hits it off the outside of his foot. And another chance across the board for SAFC from a man who had 6 goals in 17 matches. He's got 11 in his 28 over SAFC's career, and this one just hits off the wrong side of his foot.
Yeah, just body mechanics there. Just didn't catch it right. Chest wasn't down and popped up a bit and sent it to Rosed. And a really good opportunity that Pirano really created out of nothing. But to going back to your point, I mean, Oakland has shown, you know, that they're here to compete. But like I was saying, ultimately, the longer they go without scoring that goal, the better it's going to be for SAFC, because they've many times found ways to get shutouts.
So what you'll take is, if we get to that point, when we get to the 75-minute mark, will be the number 1 club in keeping a clean sheet against the number 1 club when it comes to scoring in the final quarter hour. And what a matchup that will be for the last 15 minutes of this match. Clemenza. Dennis back to Emra. Clemenza. Nane working upfield with Mafeka. Mafeka, Hernandez, and now Nane. We'll turn it wide. Barber and Azakar. Azakar defended by Kamiri. Danny Barber. Back into the middle of the park. Magnus Carlsen, another touch to Charlie Dennis. Looking back to Magnus Carlsen. Well played. Better turn by Sam Adeniran, and he's off to the races. Just too heavy on that touch. He had Patino off to his right. No foul whistle on the slide tackle by Tarek Morad. Adeniran stays with possession. Chips the ball to the top of the 6, and that's headed out of harm's way. Hernandez, Oakland's a little cute with that ball there inside their final third, and they give it away again. Pirano unable to get it back to Santiago. Patino sets up the counter for Roots. Magnus Carlsen out wide. Charlie Dennis. Dennis making the run here on Shannon Gomez.
There's been great movement from Oakland, great interchange, combination play in the middle of the park. They're just trying to find that final product in the attacking third, but then, you know, they turned it over, and SAFC's dangerous on the counter. It was unfortunate there. Adeniran took a little heavy of a touch, but both sides in different approaches are trying to find a way to impose their will in this game.
Rito looking for any service and nothing doing, so he plays it low. Tainer will defend that ball out, and a throw belonging back to Oakland. Mitchell Tainer, what more can you say about the Storrs, Connecticut native? A career-high 5 goals, career-high 106 clearances, easily could be in the running for MVP, should be the runaway winner for Defender of the Year in USL Championship.
Yeah, he's had a stellar year, and you can see he's communicating to his teammates there to stay tuned in and focus.
Clemenza climbing the ladder is fouled by Patino. As we come upon halftime, 1-0 SAFC, the opening minute goal from Sam Adeniran has the home side ahead. But Oakland, as we said at the top, an upstart club, has been pesky throughout the remainder of this opening half, and have certainly had SAFC fans holding their breath at times in front of this sold-out crowd tonight at Toyota Field. Azakar loses possession. Manley with a vertical ball in the area of Patino. Lands on the feet of Adeniran, takes one step, and the shot is blocked. And will give SAFC their first corner of the match.
There's many times that I'm recognizing SAFC's creating chances simply off of the turnovers, missed clearances, or second ball knockdowns from Oakland.
With no PC, with no Mohamed Abu, it brings an interesting choice for SAFC now on these set pieces and corner kicks, and this is their first opportunity to see what they do here tonight. It'll be Christian Pirano will come over to the near stick to take it. Pirano. Taylor gets on the end of it, but drives it over goal. Hayden, how difficult is it in a 2-week training period leading up to your first postseason match? You have one guy who's primarily taking all the set pieces on the deliveries, and then that guy's out of your plans 8 minutes into the match.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you don't have one guy only practicing set pieces. But to be honest, I mean, any skillful player that is on the ball a lot, you have a feel for the ball, you should be able to hit in a decent service. But yeah, it's a good point. I'm sure the way trainings go, you have a designated guy, but hopefully more than just that person for a case like this is practicing the reps there.
A good run by Rito up the right touch line. Rito drives that one right to Jordan Farr. Probably not what he wanted to do, trying to go service across the face of goal, and instead it's an easy save for Jordan Farr.
Yeah, and it was well defended by Shannon Gomez. If he had tried to cross it any further back in the box, it looked like Shannon would have been able to block it, just showing him towards that lane that Jordan Farr was standing in. Really well done by Maloney there.
Gomez spots a Denner in, but will be unable to come away with it. Hayden, the game, which started at a frenetic pace, never has really felt like it has slowed down at any point here in the first half, which I'm sure is probably to the delight of Alan Marcina. He told me yesterday, we love chaos. Bring it on. And the chaos certainly has been to the benefit of SAFC here in the first half, as they're moments away from taking a 1-0 lead to the locker room. But as we talked about, kudos to Oakland. They have, although bought into SAFC's game plan here in the first half, they've not shied away from taking risks and opportunities to try to level the match here before halftime.
Yeah, I feel like they've matched that intensity. And they've had good sequences. They just, like I said, they haven't found that final product just yet.
And that's what Noah Delgado said yesterday. He told me one of the main points of emphasis is we got to match San Antonio's intensity. In the words of Alan Marcina, they are relentless with and without the ball, as we've seen here so far in the first half. But Oakland has brought that same intensity as well. And the question will be, is there a goal that will be of service to them in the second half? You get 3 minutes of added time here at the end of the first. Morad. Danny Barber over the top. Azakar onside. Will bring this ball down. Azakar setting up Magnus Carlson, and he puts it well over goal with his left foot.
I mean, that's some pretty football. Playing out of the back, direct ball. I mean, Azakar has just got some wheels. It's ultimately a finish just like Patino's here. Just hopped up on him and couldn't stay over the top of it. But SAFC's got to find a way, you know, whether they're going to press high and win that ball high, or they're going to, you know, maybe have a deeper line of confrontation. Not really their style, but there was a big gap there in between the front and back lines.
It's been the most chances we've seen from Magnus Carlson in the 3 matches this year between SAFC and Oakland. Magnus Carlson in his career, 52 goals in 145 matches. He's on loan from Venezia of Serie A in Italy, first division. And in his first year in North America, what a start. 19 goals for the 25-year-old from Reykjavik, Iceland. And boy, did he have a chance to level for Oakland here in this first half. Almost disaster out of the back there once again for Roots. Dennerin gets a left foot up. That might direct the ball into the goal.
Yeah, I think he thought the play was a lost cause at that point. If he was a bit switched on, could have maybe stole that right in the 6-yard box.
Barber settles, looking for Charlie Dennis, defended aside. Sperano's fouled by Danny Barber. As we come upon the conclusion of the allotted 3 minutes here at the end of the first half. As SAFC prepares to do what they do best, and that's take a lead into the locker room at halftime at home. On a goal by Sam Adeniran in the opening minutes. 1-0 SAFC at halftime. Getting some pushback from Oakland, but Sam Adeniran, he's outscored Roots himself 4-1 in the 3 matches between these sides so far this year. And he's got SAFC 45 minutes of the way to the Western Conference Finals. San Antonio FC up 1 over Oakland Roots SC in the opening match of the Western Conference semifinals on semifinal weekend in USL Championship. More to come when we continue here from Toyota Field.
As a retired Navy SEAL, I know what kind of training it takes to go into battle and perform at the highest level. And when I was facing a life-threatening battle of my own because of an aortic condition with my heart, I found the place with the most experience and training in this area. I could have gone to Houston or anywhere else, but I didn't have to because everything I needed was right here in my backyard at Methodist Hospital. I trusted my life with the doctors and nurses at Methodist, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Real salon experiences, real savings, real fantastic. Only at Fantastic Sam's.
Welcome to Texas A&M University San Antonio, the fastest growing university in the A&M system. A state-of-the-art campus with world-class faculty who put you first. Discover what others already know. Whether you're looking to advance your career, start a new career, an undergraduate student, or begin your college degree, you'll see the only thing missing is you. A few miles from downtown that will get you miles ahead. Texas A&M University San Antonio. Ignite the future you today. Apply online or in person now.
Halftime at Toyota Field, San Antonio FC up 1 over Oakland Roots SC on the opening game of a 4-game USL Championship semifinal weekend. Dan Weishaupt Partain with you here at the half. Take a look at the playoff brackets here as we go to semifinal weekend in USL Championship. In the Eastern Conference, the one upset in the East last weekend saw the number 5 seed Pittsburgh Riverhounds go on the road and beat Birmingham, and their reward is playing the number 1 overall seed in the East, Louisville City, who had a fine campaign. That Memphis-Tampa matchup is going to be outstanding tomorrow night. Two sides separated by 1 point in the standings. Memphis had 68, Tampa Bay, who got to the final a year ago, had 67. And as we swing our attention to the Western Conference bracket, of course, tonight you get the 1-7 SAFC in Oakland, and then, Hayden, your former club, Sacramento Republic, by virtue of their impressive win at home last Saturday against New Mexico United, they will play on the road at Widener Field against Colorado Springs Switchbacks, which should also be an excellent match tomorrow night.
Right, and that ultimately, if SAFC finds their way into the Western Conference Final, is going to be a huge matchup, whether it's Switchbacks or Sac Republic. Those are two good sides that they played throughout the season.
I know we haven't seen much of the top clubs in the Eastern Conference. None of them actually visited San Antonio this year, but Louisville City has kind of been right there with San Antonio FC in so many different categories all year. You'd have to think they have to be the favorite coming out of the East.
Yeah, I think really if you look at the board, it would be SAFC and Louisville City in the final. It would be a great matchup.
That'll be coming up tomorrow. 3 matches to conclude semifinal weekend. We'll go to break, and on the other side, we'll take a look at highlights and numbers from the first half. 1-0 SAFC with a lead over Oakland Roots SC.
One of our cheesiest burritos is back at Taco Bell, the double steak grilled cheese burrito.
The 2023 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
We have been helping thousands of small businesses, not only here in San Antonio, but across our footprint. Knowing that SWBC was our partner in our health benefits and all our employee benefits was a relief for me. I knew that we could continue to do our work, we could continue to do our mission, because SWBC had our back. I tell you, for a not-for-profit, we have an excellent benefit program.
There are flavors that transport us to Mexico, like tacos al pastor from traditional taquerias, tacos de pollo, or tacos de bistec, seasoned to perfection. The H-E-B Mi Tienda diced meats and fajitas are inspired by the flavors you love, perfectly seasoned with sabor and corazón, and ready to prepare at home. From our kitchen to yours, enjoy the authentic taste of our H-E-B Mi Tienda diced meats and fajitas. One more reason here, everything's better.
If you know, you know.
Crispy corners, sauce on top.
If you know, you know.
Detroit style is back at Pizza Hut, just $12.99. You are trouble. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Welcome back to halftime here at Toyota Field. 1-0 San Antonio FC. The lead over Oakland Roots in the opening game of the USL Championship semifinal weekend here as we welcome you back upstairs. It probably feels that loud downstairs on the field. It's been an electric atmosphere tonight at Toyota Field. Hayden Partain, I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us. Let's start with San Antonio FC, Hayden. Couldn't have asked for a better start 2 minutes into the match. Sam Adeniran comes up with a goal. They get a 1-0 lead. But credit to Oakland. They battled back hard in the remainder of that first half.
Yeah, you're totally right. They really had a good first half other than that first 5 minutes. Ultimately, not having that final product and putting more shots on goal to test a Jordan Farr. But you can see here a little scuffle. Found the way to Adeniran. He just turns around and finds the back net. Great angles on finding that back post. He didn't even need to look.
And if it was a great start for SAFC, then moments later it was something of a disastrous conclusion. PC collides with Emra Clementa, and the SAFC captain is forced to depart on a stretcher. And as we mentioned, he was transported to a local hospital, leaving the match. So out in the 8th minute is the SAFC captain. SAFC had some more chances in this match. Christian Perano missing one there. Santiago Patino as well. This was the best chance for Oakland in the first half off the feet of Otter Magnus Carlson.
Yeah, it was a great strike. Powerful, but again, down the middle of the pipes, and Jordan Farr was there to make the save.
So SAFC up 1 at the half at home. It's a position they've been in so many times. Oakland down in a match at halftime has been in a position they've been in so many times. What do you think comes up in the second half?
I don't know. I think SAFC is going to continue to be dangerous in transition. They need to capitalize on one of those chances, and they need to continue to have each other's back defensively, because in the passages of play, I mean, Oakland really do look good in the middle of the park.
Let's take a look at the numbers here from the first half of play. We mentioned it took Oakland about 6 shots to get their first shot on target. But each side with just 1 shot on target. The goal for Adeniran and the save for Farr off the attempt from Magnus Carlson. That possession heavily in favor of Oakland, which is not surprising. And Oakland the benefit of 4 corner kicks. They didn't have one last week. And SAFC really hasn't had a chance, with the exception of that 1 corner, to set piece opportunity. Other minus their 2 best set piece delivery or servicemen in Mo Abu and PC right now, which will be interesting going forward here in the second half. But I think both clubs, both coaches have to like the position that they're in right now at halftime. Obviously, Alan Marcina has to like it maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I think I kind of alluded to the point. The longer that Oakland goes without scoring, the harder it's going to be. You know, SAFC are good at bunkering down and finding ways to get shutouts. So that's the one thing, you know, Oakland, they're going to need to try to come out and get a goal in the first 10 minutes.
See, second half coming up on the other side. 1-0 SAFC with a lead over Oakland Roots. Second 45 minutes. of USL Championship semifinal weekend is on deck. Next.
Texas is known for many things, yet one of the best-kept secrets is where the steaks are hot and so are the slots. Down south along the border outside of Eagle Pass, the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel, the best gaming experience in the Southwest, where getting lucky is more than a feeling, it's a way of life. Book now, LuckyEagleTexas.com.
We have been helping thousands of small businesses, not only here in San Antonio, but across our footprint. Knowing that SWBC was our partner in our health benefits and all our employee benefits was a relief for me. I knew that we could continue to do our work, we could continue to do our mission, because SWBC had our back. I tell you, for a not-for-profit, we have an excellent benefit program.
With free H-E-B curbside pickup, you get more than convenience. You get farm fresh produce rated #1 for quality from Texas and around the world. So you never sacrifice quality for convenience. The ease of curbside with the unmatched quality of H-E-B. It's a step up from anywhere else. And one more reason why, at H-E-B, here, everything's better. Now, get H-E-B delivery in as little as 2 hours.
Hi, sports fans. I'm Jeff Davis. To be a successful athlete, you need to have a great strategy. And just like your favorite competitor, at Davis Law Firm, we play to win.
Working remotely during this national emergency, we settled a wrongful death case for $6 million for the family of a father killed by a company van.
That means call the Fours, because the Fours are with you. So if you've been in a car truck wreck, call me at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. We'll come to you during this broadcast. That's right, there's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
The 2023 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
As a retired Navy SEAL, I know what kind of training it takes to go into battle and perform at the highest level. And when I was facing a life-threatening battle of my own because of an aortic condition with my heart, I found the place with the most experience and training in this area. I could have gone to Houston or anywhere else, but I didn't have to, because everything I needed was right here in my backyard at Methodist Hospital. I trusted my life with the doctors and nurses at Methodist, and I would do it again, in a heartbeat.
Start of the second half, San Antonio FC up 1-0 over Oakland Roots SC in game number 1 of USL Championship semifinal weekend. The other 3 conference semifinals coming up tomorrow night. Dan Weiss, Hayden Partain with you here from Toyota Field. Hayden, San Antonio FC playing what is their 7th playoff match in club history, getting off to arguably their best start ever in a playoff match, scoring just 2 minutes in, Sam Adeniran, who's been there all season and delivers at the most important time.
Yeah, you can see there's bobbles around. Santi or a misclearance. Any true striker knows exactly where the goal is. Adeniran finds the back post.
And that goal, believe it or not, this is Oakland Roots' 4th playoff match. That is the first goal that Oakland Roots has allowed in the run of play in their 4 playoff matches, which is pretty unbelievable. If you go back to last year, they won at El Paso 1-0. They lost in penalties after a scoreless 120 minutes against eventual champion Orange County, and then winning last Sunday 3-0 on the road against San Diego. While SAFC, we mentioned this is their 7th playoff match in their history. 6 of their 7 playoff matches have been at Toyota Field. They're 3-3 lifetime of the playoffs, 3-2 here at home. And they will stay at home for the duration of their stay in the postseason by virtue of the best overall record in USL Championship. And SAFC, if they're going to come away with a win, they're going to have to do it without the services of their captain, Hayden, as PC went down after this collision early, just moments after the goal by Adeniran with this collision against Emma Clementa.
Yeah, it's a really unfortunate event there. Missing Abu and now PC in the middle of the park. Just hoping he's okay and recovering.
So here we go, second half action. San Antonio FC and Oakland Roots SC, SAFC up a goal. In the regular season this year, SAFC in the second half outscored the opposition 30-9. They were a plus 21 in goal differential. But again, as we touched on in the first half, Roots scored 18 of their 51 goals in the final quarter hour of a match to salvage 16 points from a losing effort. Along with Hayden Partain and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. A pleasure to have you here on this Friday night. Feels like soccer playoff weather indeed here in the Alamo City. Perano is defended out by Danny Barber. Both coaches stay with their 11s that finished the first half. The only substitute has been that of the man with the ball, Carter Manley, who came on in the 8th minute for the injured PC. Manley's service is defended out by Azakar. Esperano. And a sneak around Azakar there. He goes to ground. The ball stays free. Nearly lands to Adeniran, and it comes back to Adeniran off the initial touch by Jordy Dellum. But Adeniran, I don't know, was prepared for that one as it directs off his feet wide.
And that's where Perano's at his best. He finds ways to just single out players and take them on. You know, some refs may call that wasn't a foul in this case, but Adeniran maybe even could have ricocheted or deflected that strike from Dellum on the follow-up.
Foul on Jasser Kamiri, leaning over the back of Otter Magnus Carlson. Oakland trying to go quickly here. Shannon Gomez playing that well. Jordan Farr, maybe a little busier than he liked in that first half, but up to the challenge nonetheless. And on the opposite end, after the one goal by SAFC, Paul Blanchette never really was tested because SAFC surprisingly couldn't get a shot on target.
Right, they had 2 or 3 other good opportunities, just didn't put the ball on frame at all.
Here's Azakar running on Manley. Azakar, he gets upended there with a tackle of Fabian Garcia.
He's a bit fortunate there too to not see yellow. It's a very similar tackle to Kamiri.
So it has been Oakland who's dominated the set piece opportunities in this match, and in the playoff, set pieces become so valuable you just cannot waste them. And to Oakland's credit, they have not wasted their opportunities on the set piece. They've been clever in designing them and delivering them, and have nearly capitalized on a couple of occasions.
Yeah,
here they go again. Delivery by Azakar is off of Perano. Will be the 5th corner of the match belonging to Oakland.
Yeah, they showed a similar one in the first half. Looked like he was trying to sneak that one in the front post as a shot rather than a service.
Amiri, the clearance made. Hernandez clips the ball in. Out of real estate over there, trying to get to it on the far side was Edgardo Rizzo as they'll scamper back. It was a frenetic first 45 minutes here at Toyota Field in front of this sold-out crowd who loved every moment of it. The soccer was brilliant from both sides. The question is whether the game settles down at any point. That'll be a foul on Azakar as Pirano remains on the ground for a few more seconds.
The center referee has been consistent with the way that he's been calling those aerial duels. The defender doesn't jump straight up, goes through the back of a player. It's a foul.
And it'll be the first true set piece for SAFC here in the field. Fabian Garcia over the ball. Mitchell Tainer, in these situations, you can see him on the edge of your screen on the left side, is kind of in the target. Garcia delivers a ballooning ball to the back post. Tainer just kind of ran out of real estate getting to it. That ball ended up perhaps ballooning a bit too deep off the foot of Fabian. And now Azakar able to sneak past Pirano. Slow up here as he looks for support, and it lands to Mafeka. Barber, the return pass from Mafeka. Magnus Carlsen will land back to Mafeka. Send Jordan Farr backpedaling to the top of the sixth, and he's able to climb the ladder and bring that one down.
And that's what Oakland's been doing really well. You can see a little combination plays that they've, really being intricate in their passage of play, and then that final product, that service, just isn't quite there, whether the run's not there or it's overhit and into the hands of Jordan Farr.
We're going to foul whistled on Danny Barber, and he'll go into the books. Here in the 52nd minute. First yellow served to an Oakland Roots player.
Just a bit late on the challenge there. Carter Manley gets rid of the ball, and the follow through just right through his legs at where he stands.
So Fabian Garcia, who perhaps misfired a bit on the previous set piece, will have a little bit of a deeper one right in front of Alan Marcina and the SAFC bench.
Yeah, with this service, if you see the PK spot in the back left corner of the 6-yard box, you want the ball to drop right in there behind that back line.
Ball swings out, comes to Adeniran, flicks it back along. Tarek Morad is there to it first, and Barber heads it out of harm's way. Good looking ball that time from Fabian Garcia, setting off a little chaos inside the Oakland Roots box.
Yeah, it was a great spot. It was exactly the spot it needed to fall and had great shape and pace on it.
Azakar working with Hernandez. Mafeka heavy on that touch. Pirano dribbles out of the crowd. Looking for Manley. It's Hernandez who comes away with the interception. And Azakar. Back to Moretto, switch the play. Over to Rizzo, unable to bring it down cleanly.
You can see the intention of Oakland Roots is to win the ball from one area, get out of pressure and switch it. You can see Shannon Gomez was applying pressure to the opposite side of the field as well.
Amiri volleys it forward. Hernandez, back to Nane. Rizzo. Oakland, good build up here through the middle. Charlie Dennis making the run. Tainer steps in front of him. Tarek Morad. Spin away. Barber. Upfield. Fecka wins the ball. Fabian Garcia will defend it away from Jose Hernandez. As Oakland Roots looks to penetrate through the middle of SAFC's defense. Clemenza. Mafeka. Foul whistled, and Fabian Garcia will be shown yellow here by Elvis Osmanovic. Coming in the 56th minute. So you have two of the three SAFC defenders in Jasser Kamiri and Fabian Garcia now sitting on yellows with more than a half hour remaining in the match.
Yeah, it's a bit overly aggressive there in that area of the pitch.
Chet will handle that one easily. Azakar. Mafeka. That ball never came through. Been partially deflected, although Oakland's going to catch a break. SAFC didn't gain complete possession on the touchline and will return the ball to Roots. Azakar's been brilliant tonight. Looking for Magnus Carlsen there as Kamiri steps up, rides it forward, and Blanchett off the side of his head will defend that one out. Will quickly get back into goal.
Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest of headers.
And I think Blanchett knows that as well. See Justin Dillon at the bottom of your picture starting to make his way over towards the SAFC bench. Getting some instructions from Alan Marcina. Morano. Jordy Dellum. Maloney was going to the inside. Dellum's delivery went to the outside. This will be an interesting substitution for Alan Marcina of who he replaces for Justin Dillon. Does he go with three strikers up top with a Dillon, Patino, Adeniran fashion that we saw was so productive for San Antonio through the middle portion of the season? Or is it more perhaps about taking out one of the strikers to put a fresh one in? And in a 1-0 match, you have to think about what you have going forward if you were to get to penalties. Should Oakland come up with the equalizer? Azakar. Run off the ball by Carter Manley that time. Giveaway out of the back, and no foul whistled on the attempt running after the ball by Lindo Mafeka. Pirano might have perhaps gotten away just a moment and beaten him to the ball, but no foul called. And it will be Alan Marcina going back to his three-striker formation up top, with Justin Dillon coming on for Christian Pirano here after nearly an hour into the match.
To be honest, I'm a bit surprised by that. I think Pirano's had a really good first half. His combination play with Maloney led to the first goal, and he's finding those pockets to you know, whether it be the person to serve or play the person to serve the ball in. But yes, this is going to be a totally different dynamic now for SAFC.
Justin Dillon, who started 24 of his 26 matches and finished with 6 goals and 8 assists, gets his first touch. Good ball to the back post, and it's handled well by Blanchette. Kept in play by Oakland.
Yeah, it's going to be very fluid and higher up on the pitch now. And so with 4 defenders in Oakland Roots, you've got to really sort out 3 guys now.
Charlie Dennis visibly upset. Center referee Elvis Osmanovic. And again, we saw so many times in the dog days of the summer, Hayden, when SAFC had those 3 strikers up top, it was a pick your poison for the opposite team. You could try to defend one, but the other one would just come loose as we take a look at the interaction between Mitchell Tainter and Charlie Dennis on the last sequence there. But you remember those games against Atlanta or Charleston. It was almost unfair for the opposition on most nights.
Yeah, to have 3 strikers stood on your back line that are all above 6 feet tall, you know, Dinnerin and Dillon a bit more mobile than Patino, but a lot of dynamic movement from them, and they all like each other. They share the wealth and share the goals.
The one thing it tells me is Oakland will take the throw here is that this is a go-for-it move by Alan Marcina. He is not going to defend this one out 1-0. He's going for a second goal here in the second half.
Yeah, that's right. And, I mean, another thing, too, that not a lot of people will think about, no knock on Pirano, but Dillon will track back every day, all day long. And so having that kind of workhorse on both sides of the ball in a playoff game is just what you want on the field.
Dillon missed 7 games during the regular season. His last goal came on July 16th. It's part of a sequence for SAFC where they had 117 man games lost due to injury in the regular season. And of their 34 matches, they started 33 different lineups in their 34 matches. It's just a product of the style that this club has played all year. Shannon Gomez drive this one out. And Alan Marcina has been preaching the mentality monster approach all year, and Mitchell Tainter penned a great piece yesterday on USLChampionship.com. And the one thing that really struck me from Mitchell was saying how this club has played as if every match has been a playoff match. And while that might sound cliche for a lot of teams, especially on a warm summer night in July, it's worked to SAFC's advantage for most of the year. As Charlie Dennis, edge of the box, and it's going to be parried away on the sharp angle by Jordan Farr.
Yeah, Farr's positioning was extremely good there. It put him in the position to make that save, and it was a cross in the end, but found its way in a very dangerous spot and even on target.
So Dennis, the outswinger, will serve the 6th corner of the evening. That's Tainter. We're going to head on that one and drive it out. And even with the go-for-goal mentality put on by SAFC, it's still such an impenetrable wall on that back line for San Antonio here for Oakland to try to find something through.
Yeah, they're SAFC's back line, they're covering each other, right? We've seen it in the first half. You know, someone gets nutmegged, the other guy's there to clear it and clean house. They're all laser focused on getting the job done and keeping the ball out of the back of the net.
Johnny Hernandez, the Madera, California native, is receiving final instructions here on the Oakland bench as he appears to be the first substitute that'll come on for Roots here momentarily. 24-year-old Hernandez, who was part of Oakland's transition to USL Championship 3 years ago. And a whistle and a foul on Dennis this time, trying to play that ball along in the direction of Otter Magnus Carlson. Johnny Rodriguez, 4 goals in 42 appearances lifetime with Oakland. And another striker up top. And I think it would be Mafeka who would be the ideal substitute candidate in this case, but we'll see. Mafeka, who's been a little bit more offensive-minded the last few weeks, but traditionally has been a guy who will hold back in the middle of the park. Shannon Gomez upfield. It's played away by Clemenza from Patino. Lands back at the feet of Adeniran. To the outside, running on Emra Clemenza. Adeniran laying it across. Headed out of harm's way by Roots. He'll land at the feet of Azakar. Azakar battling, and he's able to battle off Carter Manley. Pushing it out wide for Rito. Rito into the box. Handled easily by Jordan Farr.
And again, it's just that final pass, that final strike, just not there at the moment for Oakland. But I'd like to see SAFC in possession, although they don't want to play side to side and intricate play. I'd like to see them a bit cleaner on the ball. You know, the last few times that they've been in possession, they're not connecting that first pass or finding the target striker to then, you know, get someone underneath and have some runs in behind. It's really just a ball that's played up and then winning the knockdowns.
So it'll be Nane who will depart here, 35-year-old will leave. So you'll take out one of your holding midfielders, leave the attacking midfielder Mafeka in. Rodriguez will join the party up top.
Yeah, and I wonder if that tweak of the ankle played a factor in that as well.
But to your point before, Hayden, it's been a dominant possession game for Oakland. 69-31 unofficially, possession in favor of Roots. Dylan searching out Patino.
And that's the ball that I'm talking about. You know, Patino's stretching the back line, and Adeniran was kind of standing there in a half space. Maybe could have got that to his feet.
Dylan volleys that to Connor Maloney, going over the top for Adeniran. If there's a man who could track it down, it would be Sam Adeniran, but he's just not got enough juice in the legs on that one to get to that ball. For a man of his size and stature, he runs like a gazelle.
Yeah, he does. And to have the technique and skill on the ball as well for his size is crazy.
Shannon Gomez giving a go there.
And I don't mind that. There hasn't been a strike on goal really the last few minutes. Shannon made a good run and cut inside and just have a go. The worst thing is it's a goal kick.
Neither club with much on target. 15 combined shots in the match, 8 for Oakland, 7 for SAFC. But just 2 of the shots have been on target. The good news is that the one for SAFC was in the second minute. It ended up at the back of the net and has had Oakland playing from behind for most of the night. There's another one off target. It's Emra Clemenza getting forward with that left foot. Put it well over goal.
Yeah, streaking Emra Clemenza. He made a great first little cut in onto his weaker left foot and just couldn't stay over the top of it.
Barber will take the throw here for Oakland. Just over 20 minutes remaining in the match. Time starting to wind down here slowly on Oakland. And as Hayden pointed out, as this match gets deeper and deeper without a goal for Roots, it plays clearly more to the benefit of SAFC. Magnus Carlsen touches it out wide. Rito. Got Rodriguez streaking off. The ball ends up down to the feet of Mitchell Tainer. Clementa. The run by Rodriguez. Service at the top of the 6-yard box is defended out. And another corner coming up for Oakland.
It's great cover by Kamirian, making that block.
Mafeka. And his left foot, that didn't get through. Morad checking his options. Rodriguez. Charlie Dennis. SAFC just sniffing out everything that Oakland is trying to serve into the box. And they've defended these corners so well, Hayden, that they're more than comfortable allowing Oakland to continue to play them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're touch tight with their man in the box. They're attentive and focused on the play and not shy at all from a challenge.
Dennis is the in-swinger here. Magnus Carlsen trying to free up right behind Jordan Farr. Azakar streaks in. It's punched away before it even gets to Farr. The SAFC back line is all over it here, much to the delight of the crowd. Back to Morad. Clementa. Dennis. Into the direction of Magnus Carlsen, brings it down with his left. Lands outside the box. Barber settles. Clementa. Errant ball. Oh, and it dropped down momentarily to Azakar. I was not expecting it. SAFC just gives it away. And Hayden, that's what you're talking about. They have a chance to kind of settle and play with it a little bit. And instead, they just hand it right back to Oakland.
Yeah, and instead of just kicking the ball out, if Kamiri takes 2 seconds to focus, he could find a dinner and right there. He missed the pass by 5 yards. And they could be off to the races. And
instead, it's another run for Azakar inside the box. And it's Manley who wouldn't let him make that last turn.
It's well defended at the end by Manley, but Azakar has been a handful tonight.
9 corners conceded by SAFC in this match.
And to be honest, as of this point, Oakland hasn't been too dangerous on corners. It was a set piece service or a foul service that they had the header that was open.
Magnus Carlsen, first time, clicked on, and a big save there by Jordan Farr on the final touch from Azakar right at the top of the box.
There's a great example of curse of the commentator. Great ball back across. I think Azakar is trying to find the goal himself, but Jordan Farr at the end of the day is just right there.
And a chance now for San Antonio. Patino. And SAFC now will get a chance to settle down here. They'll earn just their second corner. In the second half that's belonged to the visitors when it comes to chances and trying to dictate the play.
Yeah, and that's where those 3 strikers together can be extremely dangerous. You see the run in behind for Patino. It's a flick on from Justin Dillon, and then you got a streaking a dinner on the back post that the intended pass from Patino was there before the cross was sniffed out.
Fabian Garcia, an outswinger in this situation. Ball to the top of the 6. Oh, it looked like a handball against Oakland, but we play on. Connor Maloney's shot block lands to Rizzo. I'd have to take another look at that, Hayden, but the way that the 3 Oakland players converged on that ball certainly looked like a handball. Here's Patino. Drives in, puts it in! Santiago Patino's done it!
What a fantastic finish. The poise to take that first touch, to get his hips in the position to wrap around it and just whips it top bins. Fabulous finish from Patino.
The 3-striker formation pays off for SAFC. Patino, fabulous to the upper corner, past the outstretched arms of Paul Blanchette, and it's 2-0 SAFC with one final quarter hour to play.
And it's just that little touch there. He could have tried to strike it first time, but he slowed himself down in real time, took that touch, and it gave him a way better position to put that shot on frame. Fabulous finish.
And now SAFC in the driver's seat here. Really had very little going in the first half hour of this second half. And all it takes when you got 3 up top like SAFC does is one chance, and they make them pay.
And you're exactly right. I mean, we can sit up here in the booth and think that SAFC isn't playing the way that they want. You know, they're facing a little bit of adversity with the personnel, but they've got guys that step up at big times and big moments. And Patino, you know, that second goal is huge.
Patino was so good in the playoffs a year ago. Blanchette just kept that one in play to himself with some nifty acrobatics on the byline.
Yeah, that was extremely impressive, actually.
Hernandez and Oakland's got to get one back quickly here if they're going to have any chance. Charlie Dennis gives it a go, and it's blocked by Carter Manley. The sellout crowd at Toyota Field loves the effort on the final third by the back line tonight. And I say the back line, but it's really all 11 for SAFC out there.
Yeah, you're totally right. Like I said, you've got even front runners on SAFC tracking back and making challenges and block shots.
And this one's through here. Mafeka spotting Azakar. Sharp angle as it goes back across. Kabiri will head it out. Mafeka toward that back post. So Shannon Gomez gave it up. Farr's in a difficult spot, but Oakland's unable to come up with the ball. Farr will finally take possession, and a little bit of a confrontation there right at the edge of the box as Jordan scooped it up.
Yeah, you can see.
Yellow is handed out.
You see Jordan Farr leaves the ball out of his hands to kind of invite the challenge or the pressure, but a little bit too much from Rodriguez there. Showing the boot towards Jordan Farr.
Rodriguez into the books here in the 78th minute. Here's what prompted that. Oakland's going to go to their bench. They need goal scorers here, and they'll get fresh legs, and Mikhail Torset-Johnson will come on along with the former SAFC winger and Jesus Enriquez. And on the other side, the super sub for SAFC is if they needed more offense, you put in the 6 goals of Nacho Bailone here in the 79th minute for the final 10 minutes, which is basically his bread and butter. Mafeka will come off for Torset-Johnson. And Sam Adeniran's night is done as well. And Ignacio Bailone coming on.
Yeah, and just to think that, you know, SAFC go to their bench to sub on a Justin Dillon as well as a Nacho Bailone. It really shows how deep they are, especially in in the striker position, because, I mean, this guy can score goals.
He's scored 6 goals in his 22 appearances since rejoining the club, and scored in back-to-back starts in the final month of the regular season. Jesus Enriquez came on for Danny Barber, the other substitute for Oakland. So Enriquez in for Barber, Torsa Johnson in for Mafeka. Torsa Johnson will get a first touch here since coming on. SAFC's lead is 2 with 10 minutes and change remaining. Coutinho's offside. The whistle had already blown, the flag was already up.
Another thing to put some emphasis on, and SAFC have done this all season, but their positional integrity, you know, from, you know, the strikers all the way back to the center backs is so good. They don't have guys that get caught out, right? And if they do, they have someone filling that position and recognizing, you know, on the ball side that they need to shift over. And that kind of shows that why they're always there, right? They're always the body to either get the cross out or to block the shot. It's not just, you know, pure effort. It's also the starting positions that they're in.
And if you've watched San Antonio all season, this match has evolved almost exactly as many of their matches have. They capitalize with an early goal. That doesn't mean they pack it in, but what you've seen is, and we've seen plenty of chances for Oakland in this match, it just shows how disciplined and solid of a defensive foundation Alan Marcina has built with this club. Yes, we give a lot of credit to Jordan Farr, but it doesn't speak enough of what the guys like Fabian Garcia, Mitchell Sainer, Jasser Kamiri do in front of them, along with the rest of the 7 players up top too that you were talking about. But tonight's match just a perfect example of illustrating that. Oakland, 9 corner attempts in this match tonight, the majority of the set pieces, and yet San Antonio FC was never fazed. SAFC, which saw their run a year ago end in the conference finals on the road at Champion Stadium in Southern California against eventual champions Orange County. If they hang on for the final minutes of this one, will host the Western Conference Final against either Sacramento or Colorado Springs. Here's Rito. Kept to the outside. The turn there. Rodriguez can't deliver a ball back out wide. Rito will play it up towards the top of the box, and that's volleyed along there by Justin Dillon. In search of Jesus Enriquez, the ball lands to Azakar. Enriquez, good ball. Jose Hernandez too heavy on that touch. Clemenza. Magnus Carlson. Enriquez. Torsa Johnson. Unable to, again, get through. SAFC has just built a wall in front of Jordan Farr here in the second half.
They do the little things on the defensive end that aren't the prettiest, but they do them right, and it's effective.
You couldn't have illustrated it any better, Hayden. The longer this match went for Oakland without scoring, the tougher it was going to get. And tougher feels like an understatement at this point.
Yeah, I mean, just Kamiri and Tainter tonight in particular, just lights out on defense. They're sniffing out, breaking up passes, winning challenges, stepping into the midfield, and I mean, it's hard to break that down.
And now Jordan Farr could probably hang on to this ball for a little bit at least and allow SAFC to catch their breath. 8,208 is the attendance tonight, an official sellout at Toyota Field in SAFC's first game of the 2022 USL Championship playoffs. The third time they've hosted the Western Conference semifinals. The first in 2017 ended in heartbreak, a loss in penalties to OKC Energy FC. A sweet win against their South Texas Derby rival RGV a year ago. 3-1 here on this pitch. And tonight, it could be another scintillating victory against Oakland Roots that will set them up to host their first ever Western Conference final in a week's time. You wondered about Oakland Roots having played last Sunday. Were they the team that was riding a little bit more momentum? Obviously, playing with a desperation mentality in the final weeks of the season. Would they catch SAFC off guard with SAFC having not played in 2 weeks? Sam Adeniran put that to rest in the second minute of the match, scoring. And even though Oakland had their opportunities, the dam never broke in front of Jordan Farr. Connor Maloney gives it a go, and it's Blanchette there to make the save.
This is where SAFC finds ways to take the air out of the game, use your experience and your savviness to keep that clock running.
Alan Marcina, as detail-oriented as he is, I'm sure, Hayden, you know him as good as anybody, will, I'm sure, find things to nitpick about tonight's match, but overall, this has been a splendid performance by his group this evening.
No, I agree. I think, given the circumstances, especially with the PC injury early on, the game plan worked. You know, it was effective. They scored early. You know, they bent a little bit but didn't break, and then they got that second goal, which is crucial.
Rito, Magnus Carlson is saved. Carson Johnson, another great save. Charlie Dennis's bid is blocked out.
I mean, what more can you say? There's three different players making blocks on the end of that. They're willing to put their bodies on the line in their defensive 18, and that's why it's so hard to score against SAFC.
Clementa stutters off to the right. Rito. Service. Far. Like he's done all night, like he's done all season. Brings it down. Let's take a look at this last sequence, Hayden. If Oakland was going to score tonight, it was going to be right here.
Yeah, the first clearance from Kamiri, sliding across, saved by Jordan Farr, headed on by Kamiri that's coming up from the ground, and then it was either a block from, I think it was a block from Dellum on the follow-up too, so these guys are committed.
Alan Marcinez called them the mentality monsters all season. The resilience this club has shown, whether it's been in situations like this when they're winning and you almost know that the outcome is no longer in doubt, or in moments like we've seen where they've been down by 2 goals like they were against RGV, and it didn't seem pretty. But at the end, it was Mitchell Tainer flying through the air in stoppage time to deliver arguably the most exciting goal of the season at the death, which only it was the equalizer, but yet it really spoke to the identity of this club this season and what they've been able to achieve.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, when they score first, the record speaks for itself. Undefeated, only one tie, the rest of them are wins. But when they are down, they're finding ways to get back in it, whether it's a win or a tie. And that's huge going into playoffs.
That one draw was the one against LA Galaxy 2. They gave up a late goal in that match. Did not look like it was going to be a night for SAFC to come away with anything at home. And then moments later, it's Shannon Gomez who finds the back of the net for his first ever goal. Here's Patino, puts it away! San Antonio FC on their way to the Western Conference Finals. A brace for Patino, 3-0 to the home side of the #1 overall seed.
That was just a clinical finish. Spins the defender, drives into space, maybe acts like he's going to lay it off and just whips around the corner with basically no angle into that side netting of the back post. But this first touch on the turn just uses his body. No one can catch him. Just spins it back post and leaves Blanchett no chance in saving that.
The celebration, the smiles, the energy filtering through Toyota Field here as San Antonio FC in their first playoff match of this record-breaking campaign has delivered with style. On their way to the Western Conference Finals, which will be next weekend, they will face the winner of Sacramento and Colorado Springs tomorrow night. And for Oakland Roots, a season of turmoil and resiliency of their own, and will end once again in the Western Conference semifinals, but not before they had their moments tonight where they gave the #1 seed a little bit of a scare. Enriquez off of Dillon, and it'll stay with Oakland.
And it kind of shows too, you know, their style, although there's many critics of it, it's effective. And the methodical way of keeping the ball in possession and everything looking, you know, jogo bonito, Oakland, it wasn't good enough.
One win down, 2 to go. San Antonio FC is one step closer to a USL Championship title. The #1 overall seed is a 3-0 winner in their playoff debut in 2022, and Alan Marcina loves it, as SAFC will host their first ever conference final next weekend against either Colorado Springs Switchbacks or Sacramento Republic here at Toyota Field. Look at the USL Championship bracket in the Western Conference. SAFC has disposed of Oakland Roots. Tomorrow night it'll be the 3-4 matchup at Widener Field in Colorado Springs. The Switchbacks will host Sacramento Republic at the conference final to be played next weekend. Date and time to be announced. Actually, it has been announced, as you see on your screen, November 6th for the Western Conference final. 7:30. Tickets on sale tomorrow, 10 a.m. SanAntonioFC.com. November 6th, 7:30, next Sunday night, will be the Western Conference Final. That will be here at Toyota Field. It's a brace for Santiago Patino. Goals in the 75th and 90th minute, started by Sam Adeniran in minute 2. And 3-0, San Antonio FC is a winner tonight over Oakland Roots SC. San Antonio FC will continue this magical run next weekend as they host the Western Conference Final. The season for Oakland Roots comes to an end as they finish with 11 wins, 10 defeats, and 13 draws. Now, for Hayden Partain and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss saying so long. This has been a presentation of the USL Championship and Spurs Sports and Entertainment, your final SAFC 3, Oakland Roots 0. So long, everybody.
copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Tonight was a sold-out crowd. They've been bringing that energy all season long. Do you have anything to say to this crowd, or can you get them hyped for us?
Thank you guys so much. You guys give us so much energy. We want you guys back next week to win it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, your SWBC man of the match, Santi.